guys, we are back with another song by Bad Meets Evil.
Yes.
And which one are we doing today?
Today we're doing Above the Law.
I don't think I know this. I don't know.
I actually am almost positive you do.
Oh,
Yeah, so I don't actually think Above the Law is even mentioned in the song.
then that
So,
doesn't I have no idea.
yeah, you'll recognize the chorus for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite songs on the album. There's just one verse each. They're very aggressive. And this is a close call as to who has the better verse, which is interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Oh, I think we forgot to say who won last
I
time.
think we've been saying, I mean, it's always Eminem, but this one's they're both incredible on this, but it's impressive for sure.
Okay.
Yes, so we'll listen and break it down like we usually do.
Sounds good.
Yes.
And this video is sponsored by Carnivore Snacks. Carnivore Snacks, as you all know, is one of my absolute favorite snacks and my absolute favorite meat snack ever. There's always just two ingredients. It's meat and salt. This is the ribeye. So it is 100% grass-fed beef ribeye and Redmond real salt. And it's regeneratively raised, so I think that means it's good for the environment. I don't really know. But it's good. Very good. And I'll show you what it looks like. Here is one big piece. See the texture, the marbling, the salt. It's perfectly salted and very yummy. And if you have not tried them, I highly recommend trying them. As you can see on their website, further above somewhere, it is Joe Rogan's favorite snack. They have a bunch of different types. The best ones are the sliders. Those are my absolute favorite. I highly recommend the lamb sliders. Favorite. You use our coupon code WithSmith for 15% off your first order, and the link is in the description below. We are also sponsored by SeatGeek, which is a great website if you're in the market for any sort of tickets. They have everything that every other ticketing website has, and you can get tickets for concerts, comedians, sporting events, like literally anything. They have it, I promise you. And you can use our coupon code WithSmith for $20 off your very first purchase. And the link is in the description below as well. And follow us on social media channels if you want to. That's our handle for everything. But yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
So as I said, this is Above the Law. This is track number 4 off of Hell the Sequel by Bad Meets Evil. All right, here we go.
The poor stays poor, the rich get richer. It's just so disproportionate. Get out of here! Sometimes life seems so unfortunate. That's why I don't give a shit. The poor stay poor, the rich get richer. It's just so disproportionate. You don't know just what I go through. That's why I would rather show you just how far that I can take it. Every rule I'm breaking into.
Terrible but not rippable, invincible or hung invisible. Fucking mistletoe over the world and stuck my ass upon the written. I pucker up them lips and kiss it, ho. Here we go, bad and evil, so you know how this will go. The competition's miserable, we stomped in bitches, this is no joke. Going overboard like someone threw us off the boat. Choke, puff of all the smoke. I'm trying to stay on fire, so you know if I hate fucking water sprinklers, I don't love a hose. Someone left the cat up the bag, now it's time to stuff the space. Back in the bitch, mother, little motherfucker, till it suffocates. You had long enough of a wait. Why they trying to be so secretive? Bad and evil is reunited. Hey, came back to annihilate the games and die straight to highway. Word on Satan is a drop. Fall on my knees before this Ouija board and I pray. Now I lay me down to sleep. I do this shit in my sleep. I'm sleeping now. Imagine if I wake. I'm 10, bitch. I'll never taste the canvas. Could never be no damn. What's a pussy? Never mushy, so you can't squish. No one near twist. In fact, if I jump out of push and sneak attack's the only way I said I ambush. Outlandish. These words are weapons that I brandish. Stand off. It's the hose. Keep your hands off. This can't tie picture. What the fuck was I sugarcoated for? Law, fuck protocol. I'd holler at this hoe, but now my throat is sore.
Okay.
I was like, oh, this looks like it's going to be a short song, but like not really because it's so jam-packed
There's a lot.
with words.
There's a lot. And it's crazy that I said it's even a close call because I think like low key, like underrated. This is one of his better verses. It's like so good. His delivery, I think, is what's so impressive about it. Like
Yeah.
it's angry, he's yelling, you know what I mean? And like you were saying, he packs so much into like a short
Yes.
period. And he's like he has this crazy flow where we discussed it in a bunch of his previous songs where his bar the part that rhymes ends in the middle of a sentence. So he'll say a line, it'll stop in the middle of the sentence and then continue there. It's just very unique. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So the song starts off with a portion of the chorus, which is the poor stay poor, the rich get richer. It's just so disproportionate.
Okay. I mean, that's self-explanatory and that's accurate.
And then you hear get out of here. So actually, I'll say it after I read the chorus. So this is actually the chorus. Sometimes life seems so unfortunate. That's why I don't give a shit. The poor stay poor. The rich get richer. It's just so disproportionate. You don't know just what I go through. That's why I would rather show you just how far that I can take it. Every rule, I'm breaking it.
So yeah, kind of self-explanatory, just saying that the poor stay poor, the rich get richer, and she's classifying herself as like the poor, I believe.
Yeah.
And how like she's gonna stop at nothing to try to climb up and not, stay poor.
Yeah, so the song is obviously called Above the Law, right? And so that
Yeah.
kind of alludes to it at the bottom, every rule I'm breaking it. It's like you were just saying, it's like life is all fucked up anyway, you know what I mean? So I'm not following the law or the rules or anything. What I do want to say is the poor stay poor, the rich get richer. I hate that saying because it's
So
it's
generally speaking,
it's not true, but it's also true, like in a weird way. So,
it is true,
so
generally speaking, but it's not only that way. Like people can be poor and then become rich, but a lot of people who are poor do tend to stay poor, and a lot of people who are rich do tend to get richer.
it's actually not okay. So, if you're talking about the poor and rich, by definition, if you're discussing the poor, they're poor,
Yeah.
right? And if you're
Oh,
discussing the
you're
rich,
getting
no, but this is important though. This is very important. So, people that are in the poor, the bottom 20%, most people don't stay there. Like within 10 years, you look at any studies, within 10 years, most people are out of that. Same thing when you hear people talk about the 1%. The people that are in the 1% are different people for the most part.
What do you
They're
mean by
constantly
different
changing.
people?
So we think of like the exceptions like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, blah, 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 right? They're in the 1%, they're constant. But almost everybody in that category, like 90% of the 1%, it's constantly people coming in and out of that.
Well, that's
Just
the
like,
1%, but they're still within like the
but
10%.
even in the top 50%, it's the same number of people. Just like you see, like when you look at the number one spot of the number one richest person in the world, it's Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, right? They're jockeying
Yeah.
around, they're bouncing up and down. That the same goes for the rich and the poor. There's people that are poor that are poor, and then 10 years, 20 years later, they're not anymore. Same thing with the rich.
There are some people, but like generally, I believe like if you're in the top 50, you're going to stay there for the most part. And if you're in the bottom 50, you're going to stay there for the most
So
part.
that's actually not true. So
Mm.
the problem is what you were saying I was being semantic. I mean, technically, but if you're talking about the
I
one
didn't actually say that, but I was thinking it.
no, but if you're talking about the 1%, by its very nature, you're talking about the 1%. That's not mentioning who's in it. Same thing with the bottom 1% or the bottom 20%. There's a different number of the people that are part of that are different. You know what I mean? So yes, by its very nature, it's true that if you're discussing the poor are always going to be poor and the rich are always going to be rich. Who those people are though actually changes a lot. There's exceptions, just like Elon Musk is never going to fall out of that. And there's some very, very poor people that are never going to fall out of that. For the most part, most poor people are not poor for their whole lives. But if you're talking about the nature of poverty, the poor are always with us. In that sense, it's true. You know what I mean?
I guess
It's
I would have,
true.
I
It's
mean,
there's
if that's
statistics.
statistics,
It
then
is.
Yeah, I guess I'm just not aware. I just
It's
always assumes that, like, generally, like, just like how if you're upper middle class, you grow up upper middle class a lot of the times, from living in a good neighborhood, going to a good school, you kind of stay there. You know what I mean?
so the middle class is where the most people are.
Upper middle,
Well, even just
which
middle
would be top 50%. I
in
wouldn't consider the upper middle the bottom 50%.
well, upper no, but most
But, like,
people
you get what
stay
I'm
there.
saying? Like, I'm not, like, I wasn't talking 1% and
But even
1%.
just look at me and you, like when we first moved out of our parents' house, we were poor as shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We were literally government assistants. Like
Yeah.
we're not there any. Do you know what I mean? We were poor and now we're not. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I
By
guess
comparison,
I didn't think of it that way
it's
because I always like in my head of just like even though we're making like when we first started in our apartment like pretty much nothing, like I felt like I always still had my parents if I needed them, they could help me. And that's the truth. So I never really looked at myself as being poor, but on paper, yeah, I guess I was pretty
we
freaking poor.
literally qualified for Medicaid and government assistance.
It's
Literally, we
true.
were literally poor by the state
I never
standards.
thought of it like that.
But that's the point. So whatever. We didn't even get into the song yet, so this is crazy. But
Yeah, we're on this for quite some time.
that's my
But
thoughts.
yeah, I never really thought of it like that.
It's true. Okay, here we go. So that's the chorus. Big sidetrack. But the Eminem starts off right away. He says, "Terrible but not rippable, invincible. I hung invisible, fucking mistletoe over the world. I stuck my ass up under it. Now pucker up them lips and kiss it, ho." Okay. So he does the very
So
first
the
word.
first is terrible, but like terrible, like you can rip it, and then but not rippable, meaning like it's not rippable.
So yeah, he says terrible, like tear. He literally says it like the word tear, instead of ter.
Terrible.
Yeah. And then the rippable, which is obviously rip tear, but you can't rip him, like you're not going to beat him and, rapping or whatever. All right. And then he says he's invincible. And then he hung invisible mistletoe over the world, right? So he hung it over the whole world. He stuck his ass under it and said, pucker up and kiss it, ho. So there's a few
He's
things.
basically saying kiss my ass.
Yeah, tells the whole world to kiss his ass. The mistletoe invokes Christmas, and then he says, "Kiss it, ho."
Post Christmas.
So the ho there kind of goes with Chris ho ho ho, right? So it's very clever. And then he says, "Here we go, bad and evil. So you know how this will go. The competition's miserable. We stomp them bitches. This is no joke." So, I mean, this is straightforward, right? Bad and evil, that's Eminem and Royce. So we know it's going to be wild. The competition's
Does he
miserable.
say no like snow?
This is no interesting. So
Because then
it's
it goes along with
possible.
like mistletoe and like Santa.
I didn't pick up on that, but
I
it's
don't know.
possible.
Maybe.
Yeah. So yeah, the competition's miserable because Royce and Eminem are back together. It's like, oh no, right? And then they're gonna stomp them, and they're saying that they're no joke. He continues. Going overboard like someone threw us off the boat. Choke, cough from all the smoke. I'm trying to stay on fire. So you know if I hate fucking water sprinklers, I don't love the hose. Someone let the cat out of the bag. Now it's time to stuff his face. Back in that bitch. Smother that little motherfucker till it suffocates. You had long enough a wait. Why are they trying to be so secretive when bad and evil has reunited? Hey,
So going overboard, meaning like going crazy, but also like overboard off a boat. And you're
literally.
choking from coughing on the smoke because he's on fire with his
Yes.
raps.
Mm-hmm.
And he hates water sprinklers because he's on fire. So he doesn't love the hose, like the water hose, but also like hose, HOES.
Yes.
And then someone let the cat out of the bag. Now it's time to stuff his face back in that bag. So, like, we're going to put the cat back in the bag, but also, like, we're not. I don't know what was let out of the bag. Like, he was let out of the bag.
So
Like Eminem.
so he elaborates further in the bottom where he says, why are they being so secretive that bad and evil are reunited?
Oh,
So
okay.
that's, I think, what's out of the bag, that
And
Eminem
then
and Royce are back together,
Yeah, and
right?
then he does like a cat smothering, suffocating thing,
Yeah,
which is like very like, who are you, Stephen Avery?
he's playing on the expression to let the cat out of the bag, meaning you let a secret out, but then he takes it literally like, okay, now that the secret's out, let me show you what we're gonna do with you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now that the secret's so the cat equals the secret,
Yeah,
right?
that goes along with like the saying.
Yeah, so what they're doing to the secret now that it's out, they're gonna destroy it, which is goes to their style of the horrorcore rap, right?
Yeah.
And then yeah, they're smothering it. You had enough of wait. And so and then he literally says, why are they being so secretive that they reunited?
Yeah.
So I don't remember. I guess this album maybe just like dropped, or at least when they announced the release date, people didn't know because as we mentioned, Eminem and Royce didn't talk for years. They had their beef.
Yes, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Okay, so Eminem continues. Came back to annihilate. The game's in dire straits. As I await, word on Satan as I drop, fall to my knees before this Ouija board, and I pray. Now I lay me down to sleep. I do the shit in my sleep. I'm sleeping now. Imagine if I awake. I'm champ, bitch. I'll never taste the canvas. Could never be no damn wuss or pussy. Never mushy. So you can't squish. Nowhere near a tush. In fact, if I jump out a bush in a sneak attacks, the only way I say I am Bush.
Okay, you take this one.
All right. So they're annihilating the game, right? So they're going to kill the game. They came back to annihilate in general, and the game is in dire straits. So the rap game's all fucked up, and they're here to fuck it up, right? And as I await, so then he says, "Word on Satan." So it's interesting. It's almost like I like the expression like "word to Satan," right? You know what I mean?
Like he's saying like a bet. Like I like basically saying bet.
So yeah, so he's saying like almost like word to Satan, like, and then he invokes Satan. He's saying right, it's like word on Satan. So word to Satan, think of it right, and then he's invoking this imagery of he's getting like power from Satan, right? And then he falls down to his knees before a Ouija board, right? So he's invoking Satan, then he gets onto his knees in front of a Ouija board, which is obviously like mysticism and considered like with evil, right? And then he's saying, I pray as I lay me down. So he's praying to Satan over a Ouija board effectively, right? That's how twisted and evil his rhymes are.
Oh, I was reading that wrong. I didn't realize they said as I await word on Satan. I just saw word on Satan. So I'm like, it's kind of like saying word on God, but then saying like on Satan.
Yeah,
So never mind. Ignore what I had just said.
yeah, he's getting it. He's getting word, so he's praying to Satan, getting word from
Yeah.
him. You know what I mean? Um, it is weird because the way he emphasizes, he says, "As I await," there is actually a space when he's delivering the line, and when he says, "As I await," word on Satan, so he doesn't say it like it's a separate thought. You know what I mean? So then, yes, as I pray, now I lay me down to sleep. So that's a common prayer, right?
Yeah.
And
The
and
Metallica prayer.
a lot of prayer. Yeah, it's like everywhere.
I know.
And then he says, I do this shit in my sleep, meaning like he kills people rapping, blah, blah, blah. And then he says, I'm sleeping now. Imagine if I awake. So, in the midst of this wild verse where he's yelling and he's packing in so many rhymes very aggressively, he's like,
He's saying I'm sleeping right
this is me
now.
sleeping. Imagine what would happen if I woke up.
Crazier stuff.
Yes. And then he says, I'm champ, right? So, champion. So, he invokes a little boxing scheme, a little bit right here. I'm champ, so like champion of the world. I'll never taste the canvas. So that's the ring is they refer to as canvas, right? So if you're on the canvas, you're on the floor, you get knocked down.
Okay, I
Not
didn't
gonna
know that.
yeah, not gonna happen because he's a champ. Then he does this cool line where he says, "Can never be no damn wuss or pussy," right? So he invokes pussy. So that's the key thing here. So he says, "Never mushy," which is kind of going back to pussy. So you can't squish. Nowhere near a tush. So pussy next to a butthole. Nowhere near a tush,
Okay, got
right?
it.
And then, in fact, if I jump out a bush, so bush, pussy again, right? But he says the only way, if I jump out of a bush in a sneak attack, that's the only way I say I am Bush. So he's doing a clever line with ambush, which is literally a sneak attack, and then ambush,
Like he
which
is a bush.
he's not a pussy. He's nothing about a pussy. The only time he's ever anything near a pussy would be a bush, but only in the context of an ambush.
Mhm.
It's very like it's very funny. It's a very long way to get to there. All right. So then he says, outlandish, these words are weapons that I brandish, standoffish to hose, keep your hands off this, can't top it, so what the fuck would I sugarcoat it for? So this line is supposed to be law, like LAW, with a question mark. He says, law, fuck protocol, I'd holler at this hoe, but now my throat is sore. So this is straightforward. He's saying
Yeah.
wild shit. His words are weapons that he brandishes, so he's putting his words out for you.
But then like outlandish and brandish, like if you're like an outlaw, kind of.
Brandishing weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then he's standoffish to hoes, right? So he doesn't like to be near them. Keep your hands off this, right? So you can't hands off this. And then he says can't top it, meaning like you can't, you can't do better than him, right? But then he says, so what the fuck would I sugarcoat it for? So if you're sugarcoating something, you're literally topping it, right?
Oh, true, true, true.
Yeah. And so it's a double entendre. You can't top it, but also he's not going to say it in a soft way. He's going to be very vulgar and aggressive and direct. And then he says, law, fuck protocol. So law, protocol, they're effectively synonyms, right?
Yeah.
And then he says, I holler at this hoe, but now my throat is sore, which is funny because he's literally yelling like in the verse. So hollering in the sense of yell. I can't yell at this girl because my throat is sore, but also holler like I'm gonna talk to her, spit game, blah blah blah. All right, so that was Eminem's verse. Fucking awesome. There's just the there's just the chorus and then Royce's, so we'll let the song play out from here.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Sometimes life seems so unfortunate. That's why I don't give a shit. The poor stay poor, the rich get richer. It's just so disproportionate. You don't know just what I go through. That's why I would rather show you just how far that I can take it. Every rule I'm breaking it.
Baby, I'm lawless. You couldn't burn me if you threw acid on me. I'm at your homie. I'm at your home, ready to spray you while you napping, homie. Have everything on and around your mattress, looking like the word in front of a matrimony. You hot, thug, yeah. Go ahead, jump, no matter how hot you get, you gon' come up short like Spud Webb. My DUIs get waved like sandbox. Still riding with no L's like James Todd. Can't change I thank God for my safe thinking. Last time I was safe thinking, me and my niggas was doing a bank job. I stay violent, y'all go the peace route. You got a mouth like Kanye, I knock your whole bottom row of teeth out. No disrespect to Mr. West shit, I'm just nice with mine, and it's just rap. I'm just like Ricky Hatton, I just like the line. These weak rappers wanna set us up, they never tough. They ask me for a hook, I tell them left or right, head or gut. What y'all messing with is a nigga that'll leave you foobar, fucked up beyond all recognition. Y'all are rock stars, I'm the opposite. I could just throw a rock and hit a star for the fuck of it. Partner, you not hard, I body your hot bars. Beef is left you pray, right? Like Allahu Akbar, let's go. When I leave y'all shot, you ain't gonna be on your metro. In a bad area, that car drop.
Sometimes life seems so unfortunate. That's why I don't give a shit. The poor stay poor, the rich get richer. It's just so disproportionate. You don't know just what I go through. That's why I would rather show you just how far that I can take it. Every rule I'm breaking it.
Okay. So again, Royce's verse is very good.
I think they're equal, or maybe Royce finally, for the first time ever, might have beat him a little bit. Not like he
So-
can't, you know what I mean? I'm not saying it like that because I think he can't. I'm just saying Eminem wins all the time, and I've never decided that anyone else has won. So I
So-
think I don't think I have.
If I was forced to make a choice, I think I probably still would say Eminem, right? If I could only pick. But I really do love both of these verses so much.
I feel like I just want to give it to Royce because it was so good, and like Eminem always wins.
Yeah. So, okay, Royce comes in. He says, baby, I'm lawless. You couldn't burn me if you threw acid on me. I'm at ya, homie. So I'm at ya,
I'm at you.
homie. I'm at your home, ready to spray you while you're napping, homie. Why is that word cut off? Just while you're napping, homie. Wait, I know what that says. While you're napping, homie, have everything on and around you. Okay, yeah, they fucked this up. Have everything on and around your mattress looking like the word in front of a matrimony. You high thug, yeah, go ahead, jump. No matter how high you get, you're gonna come up short like Spud Webb. My DUIs get waived like saying bye. Still riding with no L's like James Todd. Can't change I thank God for my safe thinking. He actually does say I twice. All right, whatever.
So since he's lawless,
Which the song's above the law.
and you could burn him with acid, Acid burns, but it doesn't work on him.
Also, you couldn't beat him. You know what I mean? Burn, beat, yeah.
Yeah, he's at your house. He's about to shoot you while you're napping.
So yeah, he's like, I'm at you, homie. And then I'm at your home. So yeah, he's exactly like what you said.
And then have everything on and around your mattress. What does that mean?
So this is a cool line. So he's going to shoot you while you're napping and
Yeah.
have everything on and around your mattress looking like the word in front of a matrimony. So he's going to be shooting you. So there's going to be a bunch of holes. Holy matrimony.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't get it.
It's so clever. I
So
love
now
that
that I
line.
get it, I think he definitely won.
It's so clever, that line. So yeah, you're going to have everything on and around your mattress looking like the word and looking holy. So because he's shooting at you, there's going to be holes everywhere. Holy.
Yeah, I needed
It's
help
very
with
clever.
that.
Yeah, it's awesome. Then he says, "You high, yeah, thug, go ahead, jump." So obviously, you jump high, right? But he says, no matter how high you get, you're going to come up short like Spud Webb.
I don't know who that is.
Spud Webb was an NBA player,
He's short.
infamously short. So I want to say, I don't know why. So I have Lyric Genius. I want to say he was like 5'5". Let's see if they
That's
have it
just
here.
pretty short for just regular standard.
So he's 5'7", which is still very short for NBA. Those are two NBA players. That's Spud Webb.
He looks so tiny next
I
to
think
him.
that's him with Manute Bol, maybe.
He looks like a little guy.
So he's shorter than you and in the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So I could be in the NBA.
yeah. So and he also could jump very high. He was like, I think he dunked a few times, which is wild. So go ahead, jump. No matter how high you get, you're going to come up short like Spud Webb. So it's a play on, Spud Webb being short and getting high, blah, blah, blah. So he says, my DUIs get waived like saying bye. So that's interesting.
Like waving goodbye.
So he makes, I guess he.
And they disappear.
Yeah, he just doesn't get convicted. And then he says, still riding with no L's like James Todd. So this is an interesting line. James Todd is James Todd Smith, LL Cool J, right?
Oh.
So
Okay. And then his government name has no L's because LL Cool J isn't his real name. So like without the L's, he's just
James Todd and
well, he's actually really just Cool
J.
J.
Cool J.
No L in cool.
True.
Cool
That's
J.
funny. So yeah. So because his DUIs get waived, he has no L's. He's riding with no L's, no losses, right? He doesn't have any DUIs. So that's a cool line. And then he says, can't change I. So like I can't change him. And then he says, I thank God for my safe thinking. Then he continues. Last time I was safe thinking, me and my dudes was doing a bank job.
Because like safes are in banks, money.
Yes, and then safe, yeah. I stay violent. Y'all go the peace route. You got a mouth like Kanye. I'll knock your whole bottom row of teeth out. No disrespect to Mr. West. Shit, I'm just nice with mine. And this just rap. I'm like Ricky Hatton. I just like the line.
So the violent and peace, they're like opposites. But
Yes.
then Kanye, he makes a reference to his accident and having his jaw wired shut.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes, no disrespect, because obviously you could tell with my reaction. I was like, I can't believe he said that.
Yeah.
But like, he's like, yeah, I'm not meaning disrespect. It just kind of like made sense with the song.
It's
what he's saying.
Even though he says that, it still kind of is a shot because when he says you got a mouth like Kanye, he's referring also to Kanye. It's infamous. So like by this point, he already did George Bush doesn't care about black people at the Katrina Marathon with Mike Myers. He already jumped on stage with Taylor Swift. Do you know what I mean?
Is he saying you got a mouth like Kanye? Not saying like you'll get a mouth.
No, yeah, he's effectively saying if you got a mouth like Kanye, then I'll knock your teeth out.
Yeah.
So we're saying if you talk to me the way Kanye talks, then I'm gonna knock your teeth out, right? Which is very funny. And then like you already pointed out, it's also a reference to his accident with the jaw, blah blah blah. And then yeah, he says no disrespect to Mr. West shit. I'm just nice with mine. So it's cool if you're nice with mine, like nice with my skills, but I think nice with mine, like my mouth also. Do you know what I mean? So he's just doing a play on that. And then he says, and this is just rap, meaning like, I'm not really dissing. This is a rap song. This is not real life. And then he says, I'm like Ricky Hatton. I just like the line. So this is clever. And this scheme carries on to the next few lines. So Ricky Hatton was a boxer. it also came out that he was, I don't know if he was addicted. He was doing coke. I think he was addicted to coke, right?
Okay, that makes sense.
So I'm just like
So the
Ricky
coke
Hatton.
line.
So he's like a boxer, right? So Royce is saying, This is just rapping. I'm just boxing, right? I'm playing. I'm sparring, blah, 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 like a boxer. And I just like the line. So, line of cocaine, right? But he also likes the line that he just did, blah, blah, blah. So keep in mind that Ricky Hatton's a boxer. Then he says, these weak rappers want to set us up. They never tough. They ask me for a hook. I tell them left, right, head, or gut. What y'all messing with is a dude that'll leave you foobar, fucked up beyond all recognition.
So it goes along with like the what you say is a boxer.
Mm-hmm.
So the boxing scene because like weak rappers never tough. So
Mm-hmm.
that goes along with that. They're asking for a hook, like a punch. He's like left or right hook, and then head at the head or at the gut. Those punches, and then you're messing with a guy that'll
The
leave you fucked up beyond recognition.
so the hook is a double entendre.
Oh, like the hook in a song.
Yeah, so other rappers are asking Royce for a hook, meaning like the hook, the chorus or whatever on a song, and he's like, okay. He responds with doing a left or a right or a head or a gut, so like a literal
Oh,
hook.
okay, okay. I didn't even. Okay.
So yeah, it's just a double meaning. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It means it both ways. And then yeah, the fucked up beyond all recognition is literally what FUBAR is an acronym for. All right. And then he says, y'all are rock stars. I'm the opposite. I could just throw a rock and hit a star for the fuck of it. Partner, you not hard. I body your hot bars. Beef has left you prey, right? Like Allahu Akbar. Let's go. When I leave y'all shot, you ain't gonna be on your metro in a bad area that call dropped.
You could take this one.
Okay. So he's saying you guys are like rock stars. I'm the opposite. I'm not a rock star, right? So I guess the
He's a
opposite
pop
of
star.
rapper or, from the hood, like street, whatever. You know what I mean? And then he does a play on the two words rock star and says I could just throw a rock and hit a star for the fuck of it, which I also think is a double entendre. Like he could literally, he's so strong, he could throw it in the sky, but he could also throw it at a rock star just for fun, for the fuck of it, which is pretty funny. And then he's saying, you're not hard. I'll body your hot bars. So your rhymes, he's going to body them. He's going to kill them. And then he says, beef has left you prey. So it's a homophone. Yeah. Prey. Beef has left you prey, right? So your beef with
Are you
Royce.
saying has
So it
or
says is
is?
left you. It's the same thing. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like you hear that in rap a lot. In improper grammar is have it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Beef has left you prey. So
Okay.
prey. So your beef with Royce has left you as a prey instead of a predator, right? So you're a prey. But then pray the way it's spelled on the screen, like Allahu Akbar, which is Muslim.
Because they
From
don't eat beef.
so there's that too. But Allahu Akbar literally means God is great or God is greater, or something like that. It's one of those two. So beef has left you prey, right? So you're a prey, like a bird of prey, right? And then he says, right, like Allahu Akbar, which means God is great, which is a prayer to God. And then, like you just said, beef. So they
I feel
do
like
eat they eat beef. They don't eat pork.
okay. Oh, okay. Indian people from
Cow,
India
yeah.
don't eat
I
beef,
guess that's
but
Hindu.
that's
Hindu,
not. Yeah, that's not
Hindu, I
the
think.
same.
Yeah.
Okay. Then yeah, I guess there isn't another
No.
tie in there.
Um. So I mean, if you don't eat pork, I guess beef is left. That's the only thing I could think of. But
They all
no,
don't. Oh yeah, you're right. It has to be halal, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Allahu Akbar, the prayer, blah blah blah. Then he says, "Let's go. When I leave y'all shot, you ain't gonna be on your metro in a bad area. That call dropped." So this is a clever thing
Like the
here.
Metro PCS because it's like the phone company, and then the call drops like a phone,
Yeah.
and then yeah,
I also think metro is like the metro area, like the subway, right? So it's a double entendre there. But yeah, he's gonna shoot you, and you're gonna be dropped, and he's equating getting dropped to a metro phone, which is infamously a cheaper phone, bad
yeah,
service in a bad area, getting dropped. And also, you're gonna get shot. You don't even have to be in a bad area for him to shoot you. Is
no,
the other thing.
True.
And then that's it. It goes back to the chorus, and then the song ends.
So it's crazy how much is jam-packed into a 3 minute and 31-second song. And I think both of them did really, really excellent. The chorus is cool. It's like it's a very hard song for sure.
Yeah.
But I am gonna stand by the fact that I think Royce won this one. Good job, Royce.
If you said that or somebody said that, it's not like I'd find that outrageous. You know what I mean? It's very, very good. By the way, it's a Claret Jai is who the
Claret
one
J or Claret J?
Jai. That's high, like high lie, whatever. Claret High or Jai or Jay. She's the one that sings the chorus. Yeah, I love this song. It's one of my favorite on the album. I think they're both incredible.
Yeah.
One verse each, they really showcase their skills. I love the thing that like strikes me so much about Eminem. So I love his like rhymes on this. His delivery though, it's so good and so aggressive. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no, both their deliveries are very aggressive and
Yeah,
good, I think.
for sure,
They both did great.
definitely.
But yeah, so definitely check out Carnivore Snacks and SeatGeek, like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
See you. Bye.
Bye.